Hey, my friend, welcome back to the CATx Blueprint and to our channel. Appreciate you coming back today. Today, we're diving into a subject from the war room and the experts over at CATx. That's our consulting and training company that's all about empowering restoration professionals. We're talking about how commercial restoration is managed differently than residential restoration. Both involve mitigation, remediation, reconstruction, probably a lot of the things that you do every day, right? But the way they're handled, executed, build, totally different. Some of you probably already knew that, but for those that didn't, I want to try to break that down today. At CATx, we've seen a lot, and I'm going to break down 5 of the key differences to help you level up your game. I want these 5 to be a starting place for you to start considering the differences and probably figure out that it's much easier for you to get started. What I want you to do with these 5 is to inspire you to start thinking about all the different ways that you're probably more prepared than you think you are for doing commercial restoration. So take this group, work through it, figure out where you are with it, and then maybe even make a list of some more of your own. And of course, you can always reach out to us if you want to talk about it. So let's get started. You want to? First up, stakeholder complexity. In residential restoration, it's usually just a homeowner and oftentimes their insurance adjuster. It's personal, it's emotional, and they want their home back fast. This is their home. But commercial restoration, that's where it gets a little tricky. You're juggling property managers, business owners and their partners, insurance adjusters, sometimes multiple levels, risk managers, consultants, and even tenants sometimes if you're doing multifamily or condos or something like that, all with different priorities. They all want something different. At CATx, we help train contractors to master this coordination, balancing business needs with insurance limits, keeping everyone on the same page, communications, and make sure everyone helps you move this thing forward. Next, business continuity. The word's going to be business interruption. It's probably a word that I really am going to be repeating a lot because it's going to be a magic word for you. Homeowners can stay in a hotel if they need to for a little while or a rental home. But for commercial clients, downtime means lost revenue, displaced teams, staff that can't work, and unhappy customers for unmet deliveries and expectations and their guidelines and things like that. Time is money in commercial. That's why emergency response and mitigation are non-negotiable. Work might happen after hours or in phases. In some businesses, they need temporary fixes like climate control and modular offices just to keep running to some level. Our CATx team helps contractors create those strategies for plans like that so operations can bounce back fast and you can keep getting those calls over and over and over from referral partners and clients. Third difference, money and billing. Residential jobs lean on insurance payouts. Homeowners don't often have money sitting around in an account set aside for this kind of deal. So think of the insurance payouts. Maybe some people will call it ACV or RCV. Sometimes with mortgage companies in the mix, payments take 30 to 60 days for them to get paid to pay you, unless you have some other great alternatives and some other great things to do. Commercial restoration, though, it's a different beast. Some businesses self-fund their losses. Some companies just have money sitting aside in profit, and they will pay for their loss, depending on how big, and just wait to get reimbursed from their carrier, from their insurance, or whatever way that they're handling that claim. Insurance claims get complicated with consultants and TPAs or their versions of TPAs. Okay, so there are managed repair programs in commercial. They're not super common, but they can get complicated with those come in, and payment terms can stretch out because of all the stakeholders. Sometimes as much as, depending on the job, I've seen 6-8 months. I've seen jobs from hurricanes last years. That's why CATx Consulting focuses on cash flow management, because cash is your fuel for the airplane to keep you flying to new destinations, to keep you safely at the high altitudes where you're leaner and you can go further. Sorry for all the cliches. A lot of this comes in with your contract and the prep and the work that goes into your processes and system of contracting the job. and asking for draws and stuff like that. So it helps you stay afloat while other checks are rolling in. You're not supposed to be a bank, but you're going to always have to finance some of the work. We just want to limit how much that is. Next, let's talk about scope and complexity. Commercial jobs are bigger, sometimes, not always. Think shopping centers, high rises, complex HVAC systems, sometimes high ceilings so that you need equipment. You might have some codes that are in place for the city or the county that you're in. You've got OSHA to worry about. You've got ADA, American Disabilities Act that you've got to worry about access for people that are there. You've got multiple trades working at one time. Sometimes you've got 2, 3, 4 trades. Some of them you've hired, some of them you haven't. You've got to really, really work on how to manage all that. And that needs serious coordination. That's what project management comes in on commercial a lot more than residential. Residential jobs are simpler by comparison. They have a homeowner and pretty clear cut, and you do a lot more of those. So you kind of have a cookie cutter template on how to do most of your residential jobs. You've got your demo, your drawing, some content, et cetera, et cetera. It's just a matter of what kind of building materials and how many there are. Commercial, you start to have a whole lot of different moving parts that you've got to worry about. Here at CATx, our training dives deep into project management like that and specialized skills, communication skills, timelines, things that just you don't do in residential, so that you're ready for those technical challenges, because they will come up. Maybe not every time, but you want to be ready when they do, so that your customer sees you as a professional that they hope you were, and they will continue to call you. Number 5, finally, insurance negotiations. I don't like to call it negotiations, but you're going to have to call it that. They have a perspective. You've got a perspective. Your client's going to need to be made whole. It's not like residential, where I would generally say you have little to no interaction with their adjuster or their carrier parties and TPAs. But in commercial, it's going to be a little more complicated. Your insurance company sometimes could have several different insurance layers. You might be separating out structure, contents, tenants, et cetera, et cetera. So needless to say, it's going to be required. You got to know how to do it, but it's not usually the same as residential. Both types of jobs deal with carriers, but commercial claims can feel like a showdown at the OK Corral. It's not personal, but if you don't get your emotions in check, it will feel like it is. It's not. Keep your calm, keep cool, back up your work, be confident in what you did. You've got more stakeholders. It's not just adjusters. You've got maybe a corporate office in Chicago or New York City or even overseas, and who you're dealing with is just the ground level folks. When you have that many players, when you have that many levels, it can feel like you're being scrutinized. You're not. Everyone just has to check a box. Everyone just has to keep up with what's going on. You also have a lot of other moving parts that you may not know anything about, and they've got to coordinate those other locations, other people, and help, and this and this and this. So just be prepared to be on in commercial. But don't worry, that's where we help you with that. So if you were to team up with CATx or come to one of our workshops, we've got one coming up in Phoenix, Arizona. As of the time of recording this is going to be May 6th and 7th. This is going to be a 2-day to launch you into those. It might be all you need, but it might be a starting point for you to go into business with us on more of a personal level, on a coaching level, mentor level, to help you put these things in place and then expand the training. But it's well worth the ROI. 1, 2, 3 projects, one good client that gives you 5 jobs a year is absolutely critical and is incredible. There you have it. Just 5 simple ways that I just sat and wrote up, and our team said, what are some of the things that people aren't prepared for when they have mostly done residential? That's 5 of them. There's probably 20 more. From managing stakeholders, minimizing downtime, handling finances, tackling complex projects, and mastering insurance. We've got those training modules and those insights for you. We've done them enough times where I wouldn't say it's easy, but it's expected. Do me a favor, do a deeper dive on this entire subject with the written blueprint. We have a version of this on our website. You might call it a newsletter or a blog. Much more detailed than just hitting these 5 points. I've linked that down below. Are you thinking about breaking into commercial restoration? Do you already do some and you just said, you know what, I could probably do a lot more? Well, you'd be right, because you can. I tell everyone that you pass potential customers every single day to and from the office, out going to check on jobs or running around town. People there that just don't know who you are. CATx Consulting and Training can get you there. We have a method of training that gets you from the acquiring to get the contract signed up, deliver on it, collect on it, get paid, nurture that relationship, and do it all over and over and over again. I'd like you to visit us at restorationadvisors.com/CATx, CATx, to learn more about our programs, our coaching, and then, of course, more details on a workshop that might be coming up close to you, or it might be a great place for you to jump in and get to know us to see what to do next. Hey, do me a favor. Have you tackled a commercial job? Everyone always has a lot of different interesting stories. They were great. They were not great. They didn't know what they didn't know. If you have a story, drop it down in the comment below. I love reading the stories. If you want to come on to one of our podcasts sometime and tell a story about a really crazy job, I'd love to have you on, because I think that is what sums up the story for people, so they can figure out, hey, I want to mess with that or I don't. A lot of times just the fear of the unknown keeps us from maximizing and leveraging that opportunity. Appreciate you watching this. Hey, do me a favor, hit the subscribe, hit the like, all those things. Sure, the algorithms are great. I'm not going to make a living. I'm not a YouTuber. I just happen to put stuff on YouTube, but it makes sure that you get these alerts and you get these notifications if you hit that little bell, because the very next 1, 3, 5 blueprints might be the ones that finally get into some areas of where you can improve. And I wouldn't want you to miss those. That's it for now. I'll see you next time, my friends. Thanks for tuning in.